Hi, and welcome back to our podcast, My Sisters TBR. I am Rebecca.
And I'm Stacy. We're two sisters co-hosting a bookish podcast. We'll be talking about our past, current, and future reads.
And trying to keep you up to date on the book world as best as we can.
If you missed our last episode, we do 2 episodes a month. We'll do a mid-month and an end-of-month episode. The mid-month episode is more so for our current read and all of our anticipated releases of that month.
Mm-hmm. And then in our end-of-month episode, we'll mainly be talking about our featured read that we've chosen for that month. And we will also be talking about the books that we read for that month, which could range from 3 books up to 14 books.
It all depends.
Yeah, we don't know.
We'll also be talking about who our favorite author was of that month's
for
reads.
that month. Yes.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So first up, we will be discussing and recapping our January's reads. If you want to go ahead first, because Stacy, you've read a lot more books than I did.
I only read 1 more than you did.
Okay, touché. But yours were a lot longer than mine. I mainly focused on short stories this month because I've been really binge watching One Tree Hill in the nighttime, so I can't get out of that now. Would I rather spend 3 hours watching One Tree Hill, or would I rather read?
That is quite the question.
Yeah, it's a predicament, but obviously I've been focusing on One Tree Hill because why not?
Well, I mean, you still got a few, maybe 1 big book. you got 1 big book read.
I don't normally read 572 pages books.
Fair enough.
Right? So it kind of evens out.
We'll talk about that one.
We'll talk about it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have my list in order of when I read them and when I finished them.
Okay.
But I'll just go ahead and just list them out anyways. Garden of Serpents, that was the 3rd book in the Demon Queen Trials by C.N. Crawford. Phenomenal series, by the way. I rated it a 5 out of 5. It had 338 pages, and I can't really go into a synopsis because it's the 3rd book of the series. The whole series is about Rowan's quest to avenge her mother. The City of Thorns is literally a city full of just beautiful demons, dangerous creatures with powers, and it looms over the human society.
Okay.
So the city is totally locked off from humans. If demons leave, they basically start draining their power.
They can do that?
Pretty interesting. Yeah.
That's okay. Kill your battery.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so they've been coexisting, humans and these demons from the City of Thorns. Rowan is a human with a traumatizing past. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, she's seen her mother get burned alive by a demon.
Okay,
so she's got a mission, right?
She deserves her revenge.
Yes. So while driven by that revenge, having to find her way into the City of Thorns, she finds out the hard way that she is the doppelganger of a very powerful succubus.
Okay, Vampire Diaries. Here we go.
Right. Who also happens to be the arch nemesis of the sinfully sexy Lord of Chaos.
Oh, here we go.
Right?
Enter brooding man.
Yes. So there's so much banter between these 2 characters. I mean, he thinks that she's this succubus that...
so what is a succubus?
They feed off of people through sex.
Why am I not surprised that you read this?
Well, I mean, it's a book that has 1 succubus, so
okay,
but
all right, that's interesting take.
She isn't actually this succubus, but he thinks she is, and he's got this vendetta against her.
So is he into this? Is this a fetish? Does he want to be fed from her?
That's an interesting question. I don't know.
Okay.
It was a really fast-paced book.
Okay.
It's a good, I'll say, entry into paranormal fantasy because it's so fast-paced and it's also coexisting in a modern human world. So
okay, that makes it easy to understand and relate.
Yeah. Do you want to go back and forth? You can.
Yeah, sure. I'll take it from here. Mine are actually in order. I went off of my Goodreads account.
Oh, that's so smart.
Mainly because my memory is just not good enough. I needed to go off of that. So my first read for January was The Bookstore Sisters by Alice Hoffman. I gave this a 4 out of 5. I'm trying to be better with my 5-star ratings because I tend to give every single book that I read, just, you get a 5-star. You get a 5-star. Okay. This had 36 pages. I started off
Nice and
strong.
short.
Yeah. 2023, we're at a good start. So it was about two sisters, Isabel and Sophie, who had a falling out and haven't spoken in years. Isabel has made her life in New York City, while Sophie stayed in their hometown trying not to let their family bookstore go bankrupt, all by herself. Finally, Isabel returns home and learns something that changes her view on her life, her family, and herself. That, I know that's so vague, but like, I loved it. It was such an easy and short read.
And
obviously.
all that in just 36 pages.
36 pages. I know we've touched on this last episode. To be able to write such a good story in literally 36 pages.
It's impressive.
You gotta be a good author for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be good with your words. Oh man, but like she set it all up so perfectly.
Oh, to own a bookstore.
I know, and I kept thinking of me and you. Literally the whole time I read it, and I was like, ugh. Like obviously without the drama and the lack of family. Yeah, just it was sad, but it had a good ending. Ending. Yeah.
I will have to read that one.
Mm-hmm. So what was your next one?
Oh, I don't even want to talk about this one.
Oh, is that a 2?
It is a 2. Glitch by Brianna Michaels. I rated it a whole 2 stars, and that was generous. 252 pages, and I skimmed maybe the last full half of the book. Like,
oh my goodness.
The recommendations were strong for this one.
Where did you hear about it from?
On one of the Facebook groups for books. Like, Glitch is a gamer who ends up falling in love with, or falling for, I guess maybe not in love right off the bat, but Era, though they've never met outside of their games. So they have like no idea who the other person is. It's like a spicy contemporary romance, very little angst. It was like they meet up and it's just lovey-dovey. I don't know.
This is why I got it too.
But there was so much that just gave me icky feelings when I was reading it. He keeps calling her Kitty, and it just ugh.
Okay, normally I like nicknames in books.
Pen Pal and Bunny.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, in the episodes going forward, I think there's going to be at least one mention of Pen Pal.
Probably. That has been my top book for 2022. So, okay, you go ahead because I cannot talk about this book anymore. I feel bad, but...
So my next one was God of Malice by Rina Kent. I feel like I might have rated this pretty harshly. I only rated it a 3.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, Ange. Please don't hate me. Okay, so it was like 468 pages.
That's a fair size.
That's a fair size.
Yeah, it's like quadruple what you normally read.
Yeah. I don't know what it was that, like, it gave me the ick. Okay? Basically, it was about, like, 2 rival universities and, like, rich families. So much rivalry going on. I don't know. The main male character, Killian, gets his eye set on the main female character, Glyndon, and doesn't stop until he gets her. He has a virginity kink. I think maybe that is what started my ick. It was just a little bit weird. I don't know. He is also a psychopath, and there are a few characters in the book like this. There's like 3 of them who are like full-blown psychopaths.
This is a series?
This is a series, yeah. Legacy of Gods. I don't know. It was strange. There's psychopaths out there. Like, they're a part of society too. So, like, it's okay to read about it, but it's just like...
It's hard to connect.
It's hard to connect.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, I love an enemies to lovers romance. Love it. And I like the dual perspectives. I love when they do that. But I don't know. It was just like some of the words that they would say in it. It was just like, okay, you're trying too hard. It was just cringy. It was just, the writing just felt, and I know like they're young, like they're just in university, like they just fresh out of high school. So like they are still young. I couldn't connect to it.
No, I can see that.
Yeah. What's your next one?
Hazel and Grey by Nick Stone. This was another short story. It was only 30 pages. Okay. I rated it a 3. I don't know if that was harsh or not, but it was...
We're critics here. We gotta be critics.
It was one of the Amazon original retelling of fairy tales, and I'm all over that. Like, I love a good retelling. So this only being 30 pages was, spot on. It's a modern day retelling of Hansel and Gretel. It follows Hazel and Grey, who are young and in a relationship instead of siblings. They run away. They happen across a house in the middle of the forest, basically. What they find inside is sex trafficking is what's going on.
Okay.
It was a lot of dark topics to cover in 30 pages. There was a twist, which was pretty neat. I feel like it should have been longer. Like, it was such a heavy topic that 30 pages just didn't do it justice.
Yeah.
The characters were pretty flat. Like, I didn't feel like there was much depth there. I haven't read anything else by Nick Stone, so I don't know if that's just his writing style or not.
Never even heard of him before, honestly.
But, yeah, so I rated it a 3.
Okay.
But I'm still looking forward to reading the other short stories. The fairy tale retelling. It's a whole series, the Amazon Originals.
Okay. Then my next one was The Stranger by Cassie Mint. So you know how how people say, like, don't judge a book by its cover?
Mm-hmm.
I only did that for this book. It was like a man dressed in like a tux and he had a mask on. So I was like, okay, you're coming home with me. So this had 64 whole pages.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, it's more than 36.
Yep.
But I rated this a 4. I was very pleased with this book. Very much gave me Bridgerton vibes, but like more like modern. It was interesting.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Dealt with forbidden love. There was a rival between her brother and the main male character, Beckett. Royal families, so like very, very rich. So each year there's a masquerade ball, and the rules is that no one is allowed to know who everybody is, right? So you're literally not allowed to say what your name is. So everybody has the like masks on, and you're not allowed to take off your masks all night. Sophia, which is the main female character, catches the attention of a man who is 10 years older than her.
Age gap.
I like that. His name is Beckett. He's rich and a complete a-hole. He lets his guard down for Sophia, which obviously, you know, this is gonna happen. They dance together the first year. Then each year after that, like, it keeps jumping year after year, because obviously it's short, but it just keeps jumping to each year, and they keep trying to find each other. They don't know who each other.
So cute.
It is cute, yeah. So they don't know who they are, but Sophia finds out who he is.
That's a whole other trope there, too.
Yeah. So, like, I wish it was longer, because it was very jumpy, right? It was like, oh, hey, here's like 2 pages of one year, and then it goes to the next year and the next year.
Right.
And I just kind of found it a bit weird how I can't say any spoilers, because like, oh my gosh. But yes, I wish there was more to it. It was actually really good. I want to read more of her books because I liked her writing. She was good.
Cassie Mint. Okay.
So what was your next one?
Oh my god. Juniper Hill by Devney Perry. Okay, I wrote down 4-star. I should have made that 5.
Oh.
Honestly, I think I might go back and change it. 326 pages.
Okay, it's good size.
That's normally my wheelhouse, right? I absolutely adored this book. Memphis, she's a young first-time mom. She just moved across the country with her newborn baby, literally in the backseat of her car. Like,
God love her.
Yeah, she was out and on the move. So she's attempting to put her past behind her and start new in small town Quincy. That's in Montana. It's then on the 5th worst day of her life, she meets Knox. It's another Knox. I love it when the main male character's name is Knox. Anyways.
Okay.
So she accepts a job at the Eloise Inn. She's stuck. She's nowhere to live. She's got this job. She's approved for this job, and she's just nowhere else to live. Until Eloise sets her up to live in the upstairs apartment of her brother Knox's garage. Right?
Yep.
Knox Eden is a beautiful, sinful dream, a chef, and her temporary landlord. The characters in this book, their personalities, they just absolutely shine. Devney knows how to tug on your heartstrings, but not give you heart palpitations.
Oh, wasn't spicy?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what I would rate the spiciness, though. But it was.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah, okay. Her strong points were other...
Oh my gosh, yes.
Outside of the spicy. Okay, that's good.
That's
100%. A good writer.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
The town, the inn, the coffee shop, just everything about this was just so cozy.
Oh, I love that.
It can be read as a standalone. It's number 2 in the series, but I didn't read the first.
Okay.
I didn't read the first one, but yeah, the Eden series. But I'm definitely going to read more by her. Phenomenal writing. I just absolutely adored this book and all the characters.
Noted. My next one, okay, this was another short story. This was My Evil Mother by Margaret Atwood. I know you read this one. Yeah. This was 32 pages. Another, like, I'm loving the 30-page book, Spice. Like, I can't help it. I gave this a 3-star rating.
Okay.
I don't know if it was just because of it being so short, I couldn't connect.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there was something. It was just, I don't know what it was. Yeah. I just couldn't. It was just something about it. There was definitely, like, witchy vibes to this book, which I found very interesting, because I actually haven't read any books like that yet. And then I know, like, obviously, besides, like, Harry Potter, like, that's completely different. But the mother reads tarot cards for her daughter's certain male situations. And I like that. That was interesting. The mom is known for her witchy side, and the whole town shames her for it and makes her an outcast. Yep. It had a very nice message to it, and I loved the ending. Like, she basically hated her mom her whole life because of her mom being this outcast. And the way that she, like, treated the daughter, like, it was just, she basically caged her in her whole life. And then she ends up having a daughter at the end of the book. And she's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm turning into my mother now. Like, you know? Like, she carries on certain... Yes. Yeah, it was good. But there was just something off. And maybe me just, like, I'm not into witchy stuff. I feel like somebody who enjoys, like, tarot cards and, like, the witchy vibes and stuff like that, I feel like they would eat this right up. Yeah. But I'm not really into that. Like, I'm trying. You're keeping an open mind? I'm keeping an open mind. What was your next one?
Book 3 of The Vicious Lost Boys. Ooh. Their Vicious Darling by Nikki St. Crowe. I rated it a 4. Okay. It had 250 pages.
That's good.
If I were to rate the whole series itself, I would rate it a 5. Oh, this is good. Yeah. It's
some good shit.
Yeah, it's a retelling of Peter Pan.
You were telling me about this.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. It's dark and it's twisty. And it's spicy.
That's literally the best 3 combinations right there.
Oh my goodness. Some of these scenes, like, I was blushing. I mean, I've read some stuff. Yeah, it's enemies to lovers, morally gray love interest. I mean, it's Peter Pan.
I had the biggest crush on Peter Pan.
Well, you need to read these books.
Okay.
Parts of this book, the whole series, will have your jaw on the floor. Like, it's such an interesting take on Peter Pan and the Lost Boys, and Hook. Wow. It's dual perspective. So we have all angles.
All the scenes.
I was at the edge of my seat while reading it. I absolutely loved all these books. I did notice that, oddly enough, some, like, inconsistencies. I think that's why I rated this one a 4, because there were parts that she said a character did this, but back a few chapters, it was actually another character. So I think there was a little wonkiness going on with the editing. So I think that's really the only reason why I rated it a 4, honestly. It's a very interesting take on it.
I'll have to read it.
Yes.
It's on my, like, TBR.
Yes. It literally it's pretty dark.
We like a good dark book.
Okay, you're next.
My next one was another short story. Surprise, surprise. Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Oh, I loved that one.
Wow. It was so cute. Okay. I rated it 4 out of 5. I don't know why I didn't rate it 5. Like, it does deserve it.
Are you holding out? Like,
I am. I'm being so stingy now. I can't help it. Because I went all last year rating, like, literally every single Colleen Hoover book 5s. And I'm like, there's just...
I had a lot of 5 stars last year, too. That
like, they deserve it, but, like, you can't go any higher than 5. So this had 86 pages. That's a lot.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. So this is the same author as The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
She has some really good books.
I've only ever heard of The 7 Husbands.
Oh.
Yeah, I love this book. The whole 86 pages were strictly just letters back and forth between the characters. And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
You could see, like, the date. It was literally letters.
You weren't getting any other information.
No.
Other than what was being written back and forth.
Which is, like, so cute. It's about a woman, Carrie, who finds out her husband is cheating on her with David's wife, neither of whom she's ever met. Carrie writes to David after finding letters from his wife insinuating sexual relations with her husband. I would go to jail. Actually, no, it's already happened to me. I'm not in jail. But I mean, if I was married. They've been married for 10 years. That's different.
That's a bit different, yeah.
Carrie and David discuss the affair, and they figure out together how they will handle the affair, and they help each other through the heartbreak. I love the ending of this book. It just... everything came together. Oh, I loved it. It was so nice. There was even one part that made me audibly say, Like, I was literally in the kitchen. Mom was like, good part of the book or what? And
Oh, yes.
I was just so satisfied with how it ended. Oh my gosh. I honestly, maybe a 4.5 I rate this.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I think that would be fair.
Yeah.
I think I rated it a full 5.
Yeah.
I did really like it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it's just letters back and forth.
It's a unique way to storytell, for sure.
She got the point across in all of the letters.
Yeah.
And she even included the letters that were between her husband and the other wife.
Fuming.
It was good. It was good. What was your next one?
The Music of the Deep by Elizabeth Hall. I rated it a 4, and I kind of think I might go back and rate it a 5, to be honest, because it has stuck with me since I read it.
Yeah.
284 pages. This one was about a woman who ends up in this small town. She's working with a marine biologist who is like 80, 85, I think. She's looking to get all of her records computerized. And so she's doing this. She's running away from her past. The book was listed as like a paranormal ghost horror, and it definitely was not. It did have some like parts that were a bit on the spooky side, but I wouldn't go so far to say like it was like a ghost horror story. And that was why I picked it up, because I really wanted to be spooked.
Yep.
And I didn't get that. But the book has a lot to do with orcas, which was really cool because I learned so much. But there's like a lot of going back and forth. She's having like flashbacks of her life with her husband of 11 years and what happened there. It's also going back and telling Maggie's story. She's the marine biologist, and her family. Then it's also telling the story of Emmy, who is she's about the same age as Maggie, who is like a healer. She can heal animals, which is pretty interesting. So it goes back and tells her history as well. And at the end of it, it's like all 3 of these stories come together. It was a really, really good story, and I highly recommend people to read it, because it was an eye-opener. There are obviously like trigger warnings that you should look up. Mm-hmm. I flew through it because I was so interested in it.
See, I like that. Yeah. I like good books like that. Our last read of the month is our featured read.
So good.
Amazing. Okay. So our featured read for this month was Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I personally rated it 5 stars.
Mm-hmm. I rated it 5 stars as well, but I read it last March, and I rated it 4 the first time I read it. It's the second time I had to rate it 5. I just had to. It felt like coming home. I can't explain it.
I'm home. Take me. Okay, so before we get into this, we are going to be discussing this spoiler-free, just like our past books that we were just talking about. But for those of you who have read this book, just keep listening until the end of the episode, and we are going to have a little discussion with some spoilers at the end there, just so that we can talk about some...
It's basically going to be us just gushing.
Yeah. It's going to be fine. We will make sure to let everybody know where the cutoff is, and like for you to get out before we ruin a book for you. So, okay.
This was a big book.
This was a big book.
I don't know if it needed to be as big as it was.
Okay, maybe not. There was a part... Yeah. It could have ended. Yeah. There was a whole chunk that just could have been...
Yeah, it was kind of like it was an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, I forgot to do this. I forgot to clue up this.
Yeah. So, which is like, yes, okay, it's nice to have that part
closure,
cleared out.
Yeah.
Before we ramble on anymore, let me just... Okay. So, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score basically deals with enemies to lovers, romance. We had some spicy scenes thrown in there.
New to a small town.
Knox. Bearded bad boy.
Barber
Knox.
Bar owner.
Tattooed. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Well groomed.
Yep. Naomi moves to this small town.
Knock 'em out,
Virginia. Yep. She basically moves there to help her sister. a lot of crap goes down. Her sister
she got like a big like SOS emergency from her sister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Naomi leaves her current situation in her current town, moves to the small town, helps her sister, ends up having to take care of an 11-year-old niece that she didn't even know that she had. And then enter Knox.
Yep.
Who they hate each other.
Oh my god, the banter was just
amazing.
It hit the spot. It really did.
It was so good.
Yeah. I loved her like inner monologue when she found out his name was Knox.
Okay, I have a quote here. When she first finds out his name, she's literally, what the hell kind of name was that? Was it a Hard Knocks life? Did he tell a lot of Knox jokes? Was it short for something? Knoxwell? Knoxathan?
I love it.
I loved the whole enemies to lovers romance and the dual perspectives. I love when they do that. Because it's like, oh, female thinks that the male character hates her, but then it switches to his side and he's like, oh, like, I love her, but I can never tell her how I feel. Like, okay, gross head. Just tell her. There were some parts in the book where I just kind of thought it would be better if it just wasn't in there.
Yep.
You know? You know what I mean?
Yep, I do.
I love the author's writing. I will be reading so much more of her books now. She is such a good writer. And she just made Naomi, like, so funny. Like you said, like...
She was so relatable, I found.
God. Yeah, and I figured that, especially with, like, her coffee addiction, I thought of you.
Oh, yes.
But there was so many times where I literally giggled out loud.
Yeah.
Like when Naomi said that Knox was a sexy turkey vulture.
Oh my god.
Like that's literally him. He was a vulture. He was mean. He was an a-hole. He was so rude to everybody in the town. Then chapter 23. That was
the chapter.
The chapter.
For those of you still reading it.
Wait for chapter 23.
Yes.
It just... hey, it could have ended there, and I would have been fine.
Yep.
Okay, we're done. Just the nicknames, again, like we said this earlier. I love nicknames in romance books. It just does something.
Usually, the babe/baby kind of gives me, like, icky feelings. Like, I don't normally like that.
Yeah.
But there was a point where he says to her... There's a point when the cops show up, her face, like, is obviously, like, panic.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do this without, like, any spoilers. And he sees her across the room, and he, like, basically teleports to her. And he says, like, right here, baby, what happened? Like, he is so... Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we can use those words now.
Yeah.
The baby is fine.
Yeah, I was totally okay with that. But, like, he was, like, the immediate concern.
Yeah. He didn't care about anything else. I just loved everything with this book. Like, rated it 5 out of 5. Again, I would have given it a 6 if I could. The names on each chapter.
On the chapters, I was just going to say that.
Yeah. Like, I feel like...
that was so cute.
There's so many authors getting away from that.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, okay, chapter 7.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we need a little bit of a... Give us a gist of what's happening here.
I like how... Exactly. And it gives you a little bit of, like, insight into... Yeah. Like, I love Fine, the chapter that's titled F-I-N-E.
Yeah. I seen it. I laughed out loud. Yeah. I was like, okay.
It was a part that I definitely laughed out loud, too.
So what were your thoughts on that book?
I think one of my favorite parts out of it is how Naomi takes to Waylay. Like, she was just instant maternal...
Yeah. It was like she was a natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really... I mean, like, yes, she's an aunt, but, like, she didn't know she was an aunt. She didn't know that Waylay existed.
Yeah. She didn't have that knowledge going into it.
Or, like, that connection of, like, watching her grow up.
Yeah.
Like...
This was all totally new for her. And she just instantly was like, nope, you're eating vegetables.
Yeah.
You know, like, she had such a maternal... I really, really like that. I guess being a mom myself, like, you connected to that side of it, right?
It's all about connections here.
And the way that, like, she wanted to really make Waylay shine. Like, she wasn't...
Yeah.
Tina, Naomi's sister, was always so harsh. If Waylay showed any interest in wanting to be, like, a girly girl, she's like, no, like, that's, you know...
Like, it was frowned upon to be a girly girl.
But Naomi was like, oh my goodness, does Waylay actually like the color pink?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that was so cute.
She picked up on, like... Waylay having like hair clips in her room.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
oh,
like,
that was a whole thing too. That we can leave for the spoiler part at the end of the episode because that rotted me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I want to say, but we cannot say
We
it.
will wait.
Just know that there's a lot more discussion will be had at the end of this episode. And it's going to kill us to not talk about it right now.
There was a quote that I really liked.
Okay.
There's a difference between taking care of someone because you love them and taking care of someone because you want them to love you. How true is that?
There was so much relatable stuff in this book. That's amazing.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Lucy Score is a wizard with words. I did find that Knox had some pretty big red flags. Not to like be spoilery. Like
I mean, we're not going to
highlight them or anything right now. Yeah,
it's fine. But, I agree.
I think Naomi was a saint for putting up with what she did.
Yes.
Some parts of it.
Definitely.
But I think it made it more human. Like, it made it more realistic.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, like, he needed therapy.
Oh, 100%.
But yes, there was a lot of red flags. Mm-hmm. That's where having the dual perspective is so good because you could see into his brain and why he was struggling and his reasonings behind it.
I loved how possessive he was.
Yeah. The territorial. Oh.
Like, right off the bat. Like, between him and Nash, like, I was just like, okay. Like, give me the popcorn. I'm here for this.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. Oh, God. We will say some comments now, but we're going to leave the majority of the comments about this book that we got from people until the end because there are a lot of spoilers in some of these comments. So the first comment is from Instagram handle Haley McClell. Okay. So she said, I'm not done it yet, but I love how fast-paced it is. It really hooked me in from the start. Then she said, again, she was like, okay, I'm back. I also love the tension. Like, I could feel it through the pages. It killed me.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
She sent more stuff, but there are spoilers, so we're going to wait till after.
Mm-hmm.
Then Allie really likes Waylay and how fast it is, and it gave her butterflies when Knox took them to school shopping.
Oh, I love that. That was so sweet. Katie Mack says it's good with a tongue sticking out emoji.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Fitting.
Who was your favorite character?
Okay. My favorite character.
I'm wondering if it's going to be the same.
Probably. The girl in the library?
Nope.
Oh.
No.
What was her name?
Sloane?
Sloane. I just love Sloane. Mainly because, I don't know if it had anything to do with, like, I envy her job.
Mm-hmm. She is super cool. Like, I thought she was the coolest.
I want to be her when I grow up.
Even the way that Naomi described what she was wearing.
Yeah.
I love that because you know that Naomi... She respects...
Yeah.
You know.
She respects the cool style.
No, my favorite, like, I have to say, was probably Steph.
Okay.
He made such an awesome best friend.
That is so true. And, like, he really stood up to Knox.
Oh.
And, like...
Yeah.
We can't say it. But I have a quote here, actually, by Steph, and I really liked it. This might be a spoiler. You're telling me he's a grumpy, overprotective hottie next door, and you're not going to sleep with him? Yes. How wasteful.
I highlighted that one as well. That was one of my favorite. I also love how when they were at the ball field and they're cheering on Waylay, you could hear Steph over everyone else, and he says, get it in the net thing.
You could tell that he had no knowledge of sports.
Oh, no knowledge, but he was all for the support.
Yes, like he loved Waylay too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love Steph. Everybody needs a Steph.
Yeah.
I want a book with Steph.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
The next book. We don't know what's going on in that next book that's coming out.
I do.
I didn't read that.
You didn't read the synopsis?
No. I don't like
I know
literally.
You don't. I know.
Up until this podcast, I never read synopsises.
Yeah.
Synopsisi?
Synopsis? Burgers?
Oh, God. I don't like doing it because, like, I found that a lot when I used to read them, they would just ruin it. Like, okay, I can...
For the most part, yeah. I get it.
I just don't like that. I like being thoroughly surprised. Yeah. Like, Pen Pal, again, yes. I was surprised. I had no idea what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel like that clues up our discussion for the featured read because we don't want to have any spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got some doozies there that we want to talk about. So out of your January reads, who was your favorite author? I'm curious.
Oh, Devney Perry.
I can see that. Yeah.
Now, I would say Lucy Score, but I've already read a few things by Lucy Score. But Devney Perry, she was the new author that I found this month, and I just want to read everything by her.
Okay.
She's the one that did the Juniper Hill.
Yeah.
She's got that whole series that is about the Edens, and I want to read them all. She's such a good writer. Like, I felt like I was part of the family reading it.
See, so. And that's like, that takes a good author. You were connected.
The connection was there.
All the connection.
So out of all the books that you read in January, who was your favorite author?
I feel like this is not a good month for me.
Oh.
Like,
because you focus on short stories.
I know, because I've been in a rut, okay?
It's One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
It's a good rut to be in.
It is a good rut. We need to normalize ruts. Just because we're here doing a bookish podcast does not mean that, like, we're both equally reading.
Oh my gosh. There's going to be months that, like, I would read, like, 2 books, and they'll probably be short stories because I need to force myself to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, the only one that really stood out to me, and again, it's probably just because I never really read any big books this month, like only 2, I'm gonna have to say Lucy Score.
Yeah.
Just because, like, comparing her to the rest of the authors that I read, she just, by a landslide.
I found she's a really good writer. So you haven't read anything else by her? You haven't had?
Nope.
By a Thread is another really good one. That's like a workplace sort of.
Oh.
It's good.
Okay.
It was good.
Okay, I'll give her a try. I loved how, like, she made me laugh.
Yeah.
And she put so much personality. I could picture the town.
Yeah. Well, that's like how I feel about Devney Perry. It's very similar, and, like, I would go so far to say, like, their writing style is similar.
Okay.
It was really easy to read that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll have to give her a read.
So, what are you reading anything currently?
I'm not really. Like, I picked up 2 Stephen King books in the last, like, week. And I couldn't. I'm in a rut. I pick books up and I can't read it. I was supposed to start a Not So Meet Cute when I went home earlier. I didn't have time.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that's gonna be my that's gonna be my next read for sure.
Yeah.
Because I need something like fluffy.
And Not So Meet Cute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's my current read right now, and I'm flying through it. I almost wanted to fake being sick to record this podcast so I could read more of it.
You're not allowed.
I know. But
So
Meghan Quinn is she's really good.
I've never heard of her until I seen that come up in, like, the Kindle Unlimited.
Right.
How far are you into it now?
I'm 33%.
Okay. And I mean, you only just started that yesterday, didn't you?
I started it this morning.
Okay, this morning.
This is another one where it's, like, really easy to relate with the characters, and the main character is hilarious.
I like a good book to make me giggle. I love that.
Right off the bat, page 2, she says, "I'm confrontation's bitch and avoid it at all costs. Therefore, raise his hand. Here I am, doormat at your service."
It's
relatable because relatable. I'm a really bad doormat.
Don't talk about yourself like that.
Sorry. I'll do better.
And that being on page 2, that just sets up the rest of the book.
Oh, and it was just constant. Like, she is hilarious. She's in LA, basically living, like, a road over from billionaires.
Ooh.
Yeah, and she's not.
Okay.
She's living with her mother. She just got fired from a job that she thought that she was set with. And her parents are excited for her to get this promotion next week and move out. So she doesn't want to tell her parents that she didn't get a promotion, she got fired, and therefore cannot move out next month because they're talking about how much they want to walk around their house naked.
Okay.
Yeah, like, that's what you want to hear from your mother.
Can you imagine mom and dad saying that?
No, thank you. Love them to pieces, but I do not need to hear that. So it's all about her trying to find a way out of this to not disappoint her mother and stepfather. And then Hux, who's the main male character, needs a fake fiance because he's after making some sort of, like, trying to make a business deal, because he ended up telling this person that he's trying to do this big business deal with that he's got this fiance, and now he's being invited to supper, him and his fiance. Right? Their whole first meet is just, it was hilarious.
It's a cute.
Yes.
Meet cute.
So I'm reading that, a not so meet cute. I'm also still reading the Inheritance Games, which I talked about last episode, and also still trying to get through Priest. So it's only 3. That's good.
That's
good compared to my normal
5,
6.
Yeah, that's not bad. I just I'm gonna rot. I can't.
You'll get out of it.
Oh, after Lucy's score, it's just I don't want to read anything else.
Yeah. Well, pick up a couple of her other books.
True.
I think I have one currently waiting. Forever Never is another Lucy Score book that I'm soon going to start. It's in my list.
Your TBR.
Yes.
In my sister's TBR.
So tomorrow we're going to be posting our February featured read.
Woohoo.
We're very excited about this one. We're going to be putting it up on our Instagram. So if you are excited to see it, as we are.
I think we have a reason to be more excited, though.
I know, we do. We definitely do. But yeah, you can follow us on Instagram. Our handle is My Sister's TBR. No
all
spaces.
All lowercase.
All lowercase.
No and if there's any books, genres, or authors that you'd like us to start featuring or start talking about or just reading in general, shoot us a message on our Instagram.
We would love to
branch out.
Yeah. Well, that's just, branch out and to, include people in our podcast.
Yeah. We're all just a bunch of bookers here instead of some hookers. We're a bunch of bookers. I would hook for some books. Just kidding.
Sorry, Mom.
Don't come find me for that. This will be the end of our episode.
Yeah. For
those of you who have not read Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, once you start hearing the music, get out then. Get out while you can.
Because we are back with spoilers.
Yep. You don't want to hear it. It's going to ruin the book for you. Or, if you have no intention of reading it, then join us.
Yeah. Get some giggles going.
All right.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us again. It was fun.
It was.
All right.
Welcome back.
Okay, so the fun begins. I didn't talk about my favorite part earlier in the episode because mine was a spoiler. Okay, so my favorite part of this book was when Naomi goes missing. And that wasn't my favorite part, but just hold on.
Roll credits, the end.
And Knox finally gains some brain cells and realizes that he actually loves her.
Yeah.
Then he finds her being held against her will by Duncan. And then he says, I'm going to find him and beat the hell out of him until I break every bone in his face. And then I'm going to marry Naomi Witt.
The romance.
Oh my God. I love that. And then when he was like, I want daisies in your hair at the end of the book.
Yes.
I cried. I did. I was like, you go Knox. Oh, yes.
Oh, I love that.
Then my least favorite part, I'm gonna have to say, the whole fake dating trope.
That was so unnecessary.
It was just you're 30 and 40 years old.
Yeah.
There was no need of it.
No. Especially in the middle of the book too. They just threw this trope in and
it was just a little bit weird.
It was weird. Yeah, I agree with you there.
It just makes it sound like they're 10 to 15 years younger.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then the whole Tina and Duncan. Lucy should have just kept Tina away. When Tina fled, just go.
Just be gone.
Just
forever.
be gone.
Just, yeah.
She was shit.
I feel like that whole part where Naomi got taken by Tina, right up to that whole ordeal with Duncan and everything. I just felt like that was kind of an afterthought. She was just oh yeah, I've got to clue up this story with Tina.
Yeah.
How are we going to do that? And then insert the most annoying characters.
We have to be critical of this.
Yes.
I didn't like Duncan anyway. And I know you're going to have characters in books that you're not going to like.
Yeah.
But I found it just weird how he showed up at Naomi's work twice. What was the purpose of that?
I'm wondering if it works timeline-wise that those were the same times that her cottage was broken into. If he was keeping an eye on Naomi so that Tina could go snoop around her cottage. That's what I'm thinking.
That would make sense because that happened twice.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
You might be right there.
I just felt like he should have been smarter. I don't know. Like, he seemed like she really dumbed him down in that last debacle, right?
Yeah. Okay. The hair clips.
Oh my god. I cannot... The fact that her mother cut her hair off as a punishment...
Cut Waylay's hair off.
Yes, sorry. That really bothered me. I cannot imagine. I just...
Yep. That was really sad.
Especially, like, with how much Waylay liked her hair. And she was so proud of having long hair.
Yeah, and, like, her clips.
Yeah. For a parent to use that, I loved what Knox had said about it, though.
His advice to Waylay.
Yeah.
Hit.
That whole scene of them in the barbershop.
Yeah.
And the way that he talked to Waylay and was, like, on her level and was saying, like, you understand that that was not right. That her mother did not. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Wow. Yeah. I just have some quotes that I just loved. I just want to say. So when Naomi says, I'd never had a barber fetish before. I didn't even know it was a legitimate fetish. But watching those tattooed forearms, those dexterous hands work, I felt an annoying pulse of desire spark to life under the pizza I'd inhaled. Yep. And then... What was it about my name from that mouth that made my nether regions feel like they were being electrocuted in a super sexy fun way?
That's hilarious.
Like, she's so funny.
The whole Knox and Nash headbutting, both of them wanting Naomi was just, it was so hilarious. In chapter 7, A Punch in the Face.
Yep.
When Knox says, saw her first. The flash of anger I saw in his eyes was gratifying. Oh, fuck you, man. You pissed her off first. I shrugged carelessly. Same thing. Might as well just wander that law-abiding ass of yours back to Liza J's. I'll bring Naomi and Waylay to you. Like, I just...
Like, I don't know anything about brothers, because obviously we are a family of all women.
Of girls.
Yep, all girls. Girlies. But, like, I feel like that's such a typical, like, brother relationship. Yeah. It sucks, like, that they hated each other for so long, which, over money, like, that's so stupid.
I know.
But,
but how many families actually fall apart because of money?
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't judge because we don't... we don't have money. We don't have money to fall apart from.
Sad.
But yeah.
I like how they were so opposite. Like, Knox was like the villain, Nash was like the good guy, and
I feel like I'm equally attracted to both.
Yes. Well, at that point, I was like, I don't know who I want to win. Like, Nash is such like a good boy, you know? Like, you just
want
to...
cut. Like, did he have blonde hair?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think he had, like, dirty blonde hair.
Yeah.
But in my brain, I was picturing, like, complete opposite of Knox.
Yes, I was too. I was thinking, like brown hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, like, clean and, like, goody two-shoes.
Yeah.
Which is, like, hey, that's boring.
We're not here for that.
We don't read our smutty books for that.
But I think he would make an interesting...
If there's one thing we've learned from all of our books, it's always the quiet ones.
Yes. Yep.
That's what you gotta look out for.
But, like, that point when they literally have a fist fight in the road, like, that part I just was reading it with this stupid grin on my face. I was like, this is quality entertainment.
And Liza, like, she called it, didn't she? She was like, this was over a girl.
Yeah.
Or who called it? Like,
or was it Waylay? But I like how Naomi even says that, like, Nash looked like a hero who had taken a few hits for the damsel in distress, and then Knox, on the other hand, looked like a villain who'd gone a few rounds with the good guy and come out victorious. Like, I love that she even, you know, connected that Nash was the good guy.
Yeah.
Knox was the bad boy.
But we stand for the bad boys. Unfortunately.
I like what Ilse said when she messaged us.
Oh, right.
About it. I'll bring that up real quick.
Let's look at the... We
asked, like, what the favorite and least favorite part of the book was, and we got a couple, right? People commented.
I have some more comments from Hale McClell. Because it's just the beginning of her life.
Okay. Ilse said, my least favorite and favorite thing about this book is Knox. The soft spot for the broody, tattoo-bearded hunk was in full control of my thoughts on this book. The way he is with Waylay hit me right in my feels. My favorite scene was 100% when Knox tells Waylay that they're worth it. She's worth it. Swoon.
Yeah.
But on the other side, he was also my least favorite part. He and Naomi combined, I feel like they should have been in their early 20s from their mannerisms.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the book-wise that I dislike the most would be the childish tantrums that made me want to skim through to not taint my new book boyfriend.
Yeah.
Tantrums aside, I still rate it 5 stars, and I'm really looking forward to the second book next month. The spice was also chef's kiss.
See, I didn't find it like yes, I would rate.
It's kind of low on the spice meter, I think, but it was quality.
Okay, that's true. We
Yes.
had to look at quality.
Yes.
It's more important.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not like they were banging every chapter.
Yeah. And we don't need that constantly.
No, I mean, she was able to keep attention with the quality of writing of everything else.
That's true.
But I get that, though, like Knox being your favorite and least favorite. I totally understand that because there were things that was just like, man, these are grown-ass adults.
Yeah.
Like,
not even halfway through the book, I think my brain just automatically was...
assume that they were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old was Knox? 40-something?
Yeah.
How are you a grown-ass man having tantrums like this?
Mm-hmm.
Go to therapy. Go get help.
I mean, he has a lot of money. It's not like he can't afford to get therapy.
But he came around.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
came
yeah.
around.
100%. I mean, he's still
Knox.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Some other things that Haley said was their first sex scene, and then the parents showed up. She died.
Yeah.
That was funny. Oh my goodness, I forgot about this. And when she said, I heard the sound of a wrapper, which is either a Pop-Tart or a condom.
Oh, I would be equally thrilled for either, to be honest.
Are we going to have a snack or a different kind of snack?
Mm-hmm. Are we going to have a snack or am I the snack?
And then she said, there's also so much unknown and I love it. Like, there's not just one central unknown thing. It's like a bunch of subplots. And I'm like, tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Allie can't wait for the second book, so they're going to read it.
Yes.
That prequel that was linked at the end of the book, is that a spoiler?
Oh, the epilogue.
The epilogue.
Okay. So there's a bonus epilogue at the end of... I mean, you've got your regular epilogue that's in the book, but she links to a bonus epilogue. And I read it. I really liked it because it's set, I think, 5 years after.
Okay.
Life is after going on.
A lot of stuff happens.
Of people in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like it was a bit spoilery based on what Nakamate 2 is based around. I kind of feel like, I guess it depends on if this Nakamate 2, if that's set 5 years in the future.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know
true,
if
so we don't know.
Yeah, but if it's not, then I know that in 5 years, who Nash is...
Shh. I didn't read it. I don't, like, I'll go back and read it after, like, when I find out what book number 2, or, like, when that's based in, or what year, or whatever. I'll go back and read that then. But right now, I don't want it to be ruined.
Yeah.
Okay, well, again, thanks to whoever stuck around to listen to us babble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so thanks for listening.
Hopefully, you guys will join in on the next book when we feature it.
Yep, so keep an eye out on our Instagram. Again, my sister's TBR.
Lowercase, no spaces.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
It was fun. Bye.